All right, Neil, your turn. Give me something else on
Oh,
your list here.
okay. Well, I am currently watching the latest season of The Boys, and again, Rob, do you watch The Boys?
No, I don't even know how to. Well, I don't. I know how
Um,
to. I just can't.
you open your eyes and yeah, let things hit them. Uh,
Or how's those Marvel
Jamie?
movies doing, by the way?
Yeah, I'm I'm extremely excited about The Boys. It's one of my favorite TV shows of all time.
Steve
It
raves about it too.
is
Yeah.
I've seen season 3
insane.
twice through,
Oh, okay.
twice or three times. Like I've watched it a lot. Season 3 was fantastic.
Yeah. The actually a side note, my nephew met old Mr. Butcher. Came into his shop, so because they filmed The Boys in Toronto, so all the actors are all around, and yeah, he saw. So he met Billy Butcher. I think the second time. He's a great guy, of course. Carl, Carl Urban, so good, right? So good. Anyway, so I'm obviously in the middle of watching it, and it always amazes me. It kind of reminds me of, like, I grew up on Sega Genesis or whatever, and Mortal Kombat, the first one, was like, wow, this is crazy. And then I watched some cutscenes of, like, what are we at? Jamie, help me out. Mortal Kombat 11. What are we at?
Yeah, 11
Yeah. Wow.
at
Amazing.
least. Maybe
Um,
12. Mortal Kombat is one of those things that has kind of fallen off with me.
Okay, but I'm sure you've seen some of the finishing moves.
Oh, yeah.
Of the latest versions of Mortal Kombat, and The Boys is kind of like that, because we're all I will say is, okay, I'm at the episode where Makor, my French is bad, Makor, where they send her to Russia.
Oh,
and she
yeah.
has to take out a certain douchebag.
Yeah.
The way she does it, wow.
Yeah.
Did not see any of that coming. But they, and then there's the scene with the guy Termite. Oh my God. I mean, I
Yeah.
knew as soon as he shrunk down, I was like, okay, I know how this is gonna end.
It's like
but
watching
I
a
did
car
not-
crash in slow
Yeah.
motion.
Did not see the journey of how he was gonna get inside there.
Yeah.
And I had to do a
yeah,
double take of which orifice is that. Okay, all right, okay. that's good.
I feel
Now I
like
know.
yeah, we should go out of our way to not spoil
That's all I'm saying.
the show, just
That's all
because it's pretty recent. But
Mhm.
yeah, the season 3 of The Boys is easily the craziest shit I've ever seen on TV.
Right.
And like
Yeah.
they keep pushing the envelope, and I can't believe that Amazon greenlit like half the shit they do on that show.
I love how current it is, with just the language and the things that
Yeah.
they bring up, and, like, what's going on in the world, and how they. I've never read the comics, but I mean the comics are from quite a while ago,
Yeah.
because there was like 100 and there was like 200 issues of that comic. So that's, if it came out monthly, that's at least 10 years of comics, basically, at least. But they've got great writers who managed to make it incredibly relevant.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's like it captures the current moods and the absurdity of the time that we live in right
Yeah.
now. And yeah, it's so good.
There's
crazy
crazy
anyway,
and absurd parallels with what's
Yeah.
going on in the real world.
Mhm.
Like that's the one thing. Like, Anil, have you ever gone and read the reviews for The Boys?
I have not. No,
I can't
have
remember
not.
who put me on this, but they're just like, if you want a crazy read, just go read the 1-star reviews of The Boys.
1-star reviews.
Yes.
1-star reviews are always batshit
They're
crazy. So
hilarious.
that's always good.
But it's clearly there's a large portion of the population of people that watch this show watch it because they are expecting Marvel superhero shit. and holy crap, have they ever been misled?
Yeah.
Because
So like
The
my
Boys is not a
my-
superhero show.
no.
No.
Like, my wife loves MCU. Right?
Yeah.
She loves it. Right.
Yeah.
She'll go to watch all the Spider-Man. We were by the way, very excited that the latest Spider-Man finally ended up on Netflix, or Disney Plus. Was it Disney Plus? Anyway, either way, but she's got all day for those, and I was like, I know that The Boys.
The Boys is insane.
It is not for you.
No.
So I will not subject her to that in any way, shape, or form.
I'm reading the 1-star
Oh my
reviews
God,
here.
dude.
Okay, there's just real quick. One was talking about said the base material for the show has potential to be amazing. That being said, underlying attacks on Christianity, Republicans, and NRA have essentially made the show into that of political religious satire. And then fast forward to Chandler M. Bing, who says the show is 1 star. The show is awesome. I only give it 1 star because I want to convey something to the people looking at the 1-star comments. This show does not promote any kind of terrible stuff like religion bashing and whatever. He goes on and on. So I love this guy gave it a 1 star just to get to the people reading the 1 stars.
It's the writing. So I'm pretty obsessed with this show. So I've watched a lot of behind the scenes interviews and things like that. And the showrunner, Eric Kripke, he flip-flops between like being super current with commentary on what's happening and sometimes telling the future. So like he straight up told the future in a couple of instances where he's just like, he wrote something absurd and then it happened in real life. He said that was not intentional. But yeah, it's at its core, it's like a crazy, just like scathing commentary on everything, like politics, religion, and mostly just like what's going on in North America.
Wouldn't you? I mean, okay, like I watch The Boys, and I watch, we live life on this planet. Just for a moment, do you ever go like, I wish I did not live? Like all times are historic times because the moment a second passes, it's history. But these are truly historic times. That
I could stand to live in less historic times.
The 90s was not. The 90s was great.
Pretty chill by comparison.
It was a very chill decade in terms of everything compared to what we're going through now.
Was it chill because of the age you were, though?
Maybe.
Because people say that the 80s were chill, but you talk to the adults, they were waiting for the bomb to drop.
Dude, the more I learn
80s,
about what happened in the 80s, the more I'm like, I think everything was pretty much screwed the whole time, and I was just less aware.
Yeah.
Okay, but in the 90s, we all lived in the 90s. We're all young adults in the 90s. Talk about one event that is remotely close to the level of what we're living in right now.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that, yeah.
Like the 2000s had 9/11, etc., right? Columbine was at the beginning of the 2000s, if you will. I think it was 99.
Well, Columbine was in the 90s. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 99.
Waco.
But in the 90s, it's a whole other thing. I always say the 90s was the greatest decade to be the age that we were. But the 90s, we just, we had some stuff happen, like, Biggie and Pac and Kurt Cobain and that sort of thing, but not to the level of like, we didn't live through a bloody pandemic.
Well, I mean, they would LA riots, Bosnian genocide, Waco. I mean, that's in the grand scheme of things.
Somalia,
Somalia.
Yeah.
Monica Lewinsky
Rwanda.
Apparently is
Rwanda.
on this list for some goddamn reason. But
this is all stuff that's happened in other decades too.
Yeah.
Right. This is what I'm saying. Like, we didn't have the, not to get.
No, I know exactly what you're saying, and I agree with you. Yeah.
And just anyway. But back to The Boys. Yeah, like I was just gonna ask Jamie, because you're such a big fan. Have you read the comic books?
I have not. I'm familiar with them as far as how the show diverges from the comics, just because out of curiosity, I'm like, this is all pretty current. So like, did the boys comic books, was it also just like
Current to the
a
time.
really biting commentary on what was going on at the time that the comics were written? And it doesn't sound like it. It sounds like The Boys was more or less just a superhero comic book. Like, for example, in the comic book, it sounds like the boys, like the good guys, immediately become superheroes as well, in order to fight the main superheroes who are the bad guys. Like that's a pretty big departure in the TV show already, just from that. Like the whole core of the TV show is superheroes are evil. Nobody should have that much power. And if we're going to fight them, we fight them the right way, not by stooping to their level.
Yeah, no, I almost wonder if I want to read the comic then, because
it'd be fun as like a curiosity, but I think if you're comparing it to the TV show, it sounds like it's going to be a little disappointing.
Yeah.
Well, do you need some help, by the way, sir? It sounds like there's a situation happening behind you.
Yeah, Neil's coming live from the hood.
There's always something going on out here. There's always some amazing random yelling, which is always fun. Yeah, some stuff. Always something. Sometimes we get fireworks, so that's nice. We get pretty close to that, Bailey.
I think in one of the times in recent past when I did get to do a Power Riders picks, I'm pretty sure The Boys season 3 came up, just because I'm still excited.
Yeah,
it's such a good show, and season 3 was easily my favorite season yet, and it's hands down the craziest shit you will see on TV.
Well, I'm glad I brought it up, because it just fortifies one more reason why we are friends, Jamie.
That show is amazing, and like the commentary, like the real world parallels, and just like the social commentary is like, you laugh to keep from crying, because it's absurd in the kind of just the overall frame of the show, but then you remember shit like this happened in real life very close to that. Like,
there's that moment where what's her face is talking to A-Train. This is not a spoiler, but and she's talking about Black Lives Matter is my favorite hashtag. You should check my Instagram.
Yeah,
it's all black squares all the way through. That's like, oh god, it just made me think of this. There was like some Instagram influencer model type person, and she's posing with like some construction worker's power drill, and and trying to look all sexy with it, and then she hands it back and she's like, BLM.
Oh my god. Oh god. Yeah, and I mean it's everything, right? Like the show doesn't pull any punches on its commentary. Like I keep like, for someone who hasn't seen it, like whenever I'm trying to like get people to watch it, it's basically what life would be like if superheroes actually existed. Like they're 100% corporate, like they're owned by a big corporation. They don't do any real superhero stuff like saving people, and if they do, it's for the cameras or for the gram,
for the likes.
It's just, they're just garbage human beings, and the company that runs them is a bunch of garbage human beings. It's awful, but in a really entertaining way.
Is there anything that Giancarlo Esposito is in that isn't good? I mean, this guy's pedigree is his IMDb is, it's like Murderer's Row of greatness. Like, come on.
I kind of want to see him in something where he's like a sweet, wholesome, nice guy, because he's excellent in everything he's in, but it almost, to a show, it seems like he's almost typecast, like he's the same person in every show, where he's just like this stone cold badass.
He is a nice person in real life, though.
Yes, he is.
I missed meeting him, but
Yeah.
You can go all the way back to bugging out from Do the Right Thing if you want. I think that was his first role, but anyway. Yeah. So anyway, that's The Boys.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Watch it if you haven't, as long as you don't have a weak stomach.
Yeah.
There's times I can't look.
Right. Like I said, the show doesn't pull any punches. Like commentary,
No.
visually, gore, nothing is off the table.